church start. That was the deciding factor for me. Kind of took a leap of faith, came down here, and at first, everything was really exciting. It was all gung ho. And after a while, slowly it starts to wear on you when people they keep saying no. And so this morning, I wanted to encourage, I wanted to inspire us, to be reminded about our purpose and about the peace that comes from God. Two things that I've really come to appreciate in my time here at UNCW. I talk about purpose. In college, one of the first questions everybody asks you is they ask, what's your major? What do you want to major? What do you want to do with your life? What are you interested in? What do you want to study? And, I think about that sometimes. I'm like, what do I want to study? Here I am. I just got accepted in the nursing program. I'm going to be majoring in nursing. I thought about, what do I want to do with my life? I want to do something that there's going to be meaning to it. That's going to have an impact on the world around me. I want to help and to serve people. The medical field, it fits that in a lot of ways. I want to do something that's going to challenge me sometimes. It's going to require me to do my best. I learned I love challenge through sports. I don't know how many of you guys played sports growing up. I was a swimmer in high school. And you get in the water, and it's you and the guy next to you. And it's mano-a-mano, it's one-on-one, and you're giving it everything you got. And by the time you touch the wall, you're just exhausted. You can barely stay afloat. Because you gave everything you got. I learned I like that. I love giving something my all. The other thing I learned with swimming is that, you ask any swimmer, and they'll tell you the relay races are the most fun. The times when you're with your teammates, when you're handing it off, it's him, and then it's me, and then it's the next guy. We're working together as a team. There's that famous picture from 2008, the Olympics, of Phelps and the other guys are just so excited because they just won gold in the relay. Phelps, I'll tell you, that was the highlight of the Olympics for him. It wasn't all of his own individual ones, it was the relay races. I love being a part of something that's bigger than myself. I think about what do I want to major, what do I want to do with my life. These are the things that I think about. I want to have an impact. I want something that's going to challenge me. I want something that's bigger than just me. I was a senior in high school. I became an EMT basic. You ride around the ambulances, you respond to car accidents. It's a lot of old folk. You respond to a lot of things. You get all kinds of weird calls when you're working on the ambulance. But last winter I was home for winter break, and I was going over to the Fuller's house. Some of you guys may know them. They're big Packers fans. I was going to watch the football game, watch the Packers game at their house. They're big Packers fans. And so I was driving up the interstate. There was a car accident, and I was one of the first people there to respond. All 3 lanes of traffic had stopped. There was glass shattered all over the road. I pull over. I get out of my car. I call 911. So we got some ambulances on the way. I walk over to the first car. It's a big black SUV. It's a little dinged up, not too bad. I walk around. There's some men who also got out of their cars trying to help. There's a woman. It looks like a mom with her 2 little kids. Little boys, they look like they're 6 or 7 years old. They're crying. From a medical standpoint, that's good when they cry, right? Because that means they can breathe, their heart's beating, their brain works. That's good when they cry. That's what we want them to do. The mom, she's over there, she's crouched down, she's taking care of them. That means that she doesn't have any huge injuries either. She's able to provide for her kids. I start to walk across the street, and it's dark, it's rainy. There's glass all over I-40. There's a big bumper in the middle of the road. I drag it out of the road. I get over the second car, and my heart kind of sinks. It's this 4-door car, and the front of it is just squished. From the front tires forward, the car is simply gone. There's no bumper that was in the road. I just dragged it out. The headlights were gone, the radiator was gone, the fan was gone, the hood of the car is gone. From the front axle forward, the car's just gone. In the car, there was one passenger who was behind the wheel. You could tell he hit head on into the SUV. The steering wheel was pressed right up against his chest. He was pinned between the steering wheel and his seat. His windshield was totally gone from in front of him. He obviously had a concussion. As I approached him, he's asking the same questions over and over. Where am I? What happened? What's going on? Where am I? Who are you? fire department shows up with the jaws of life. Those things are loud when they're right in your ear. They rip his car apart so they can pull him out. It's funny, the paramedic who responded was actually the woman who trained me and taught my EMT class. It was kind of cool to see her. Like, yeah, this is my report. This is what I got on this guy. But that night I had so much more impact and meaning than just watching football. I was there to respond to a guy who was in help, who was needing help, who was in need. I was there to hold his hand and to talk him through the situation. It was my feel-good moment for winter break. I was like, man, the medical field, this is what I want to do. I can have an impact on somebody's life. I can help people. I can heal people. There's so much more opportunity than just that one brief instant. And I was fired up from that one brief instant. I missed most of the football game. I missed the entire first half. But I was okay with that. Because what I was doing was so fulfilling. Mark chapter 8. Mark chapter 8. Start in verse 34. This is Jesus speaking. He says, he called the crowd to him along with his disciples. He said, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me and for the gospel will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet forfeit their soul? Or what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? If anyone is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his Father's glory with the holy angels. I read this passage and I think about, in the medical field, it meets all these things that I want to do with my life. It has an impact. It'll change people. It'll keep people alive. But I took a bioethics class this past semester where we talk about, the ethics and the theories and the philosophies of medicine. And really one of the main points of medicine, the way we practice it, is to stop you from dying. That's most of the things that we do are to make you pain-free, to make you healthier, to keep you alive longer. We want to stop death. We fail with everyone. If you didn't know that, I hate to break it to you, you're going to die. We all will. Even the people Jesus raised from the dead, now 2,000 years later, they're dead too. What people really need is they need to go to heaven. They need to have their souls saved. They need to have a chance to walk with God. And I can spend my life doing medicine and doing great things. But if I don't touch people's souls, I've missed it. And they've missed it. Matthew 28. This is a verse that many of us have memorized. Matthew 28, it's the last piece of the book of Matthew. You can look to Mark 1 and you can just turn back the page. Matthew 28, verse 18. Then Jesus came to them. He said, all authority on heaven and on earth has been given to me. Therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to obey everything I have commanded you. And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age. Now, this is the mission that Jesus sends us on. He says, if you're going to be a Christian, this is what I want you to go do. I think about the things that I wanted. What did I want? I wanted something with meaning, something with impact, something that would help and heal people, something that had a little bit of a challenge to it, something that was a team effort, that was bigger than just myself. I want to do something with my life that's worth giving my whole life to. I want to do something with my life that's going to change the world. What do you want to do with your life? This is what Jesus says. He says, I want you to go to make disciples. You got to invest in somebody to help them to become a disciple. Right. He says, then I want you to baptize them. And then I want you to teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. There's a follow-up take people, they have an emotional experience, they say a prayer, and we let them go, and we just cut them loose. We're not making a disciple, we're not baptizing them, and we're not teaching them to obey everything that he has commanded us. That's the prevalent teaching here in Wilmington with the Christian community. Is you take somebody, you say a prayer, and you cut them loose. But that's not what Jesus is to do. You know, I'm in a PE class right now, and we talk about wellness. That's the word, is wellness. We want people to be healthy. And there's 5 aspects to being healthy that my secular school is teaching. They say social, and emotional, and physical, and spiritual, and mental health. Right? Even they acknowledge that there is a spiritual component to being healthy. You know, when you live the way that Jesus teaches us to live, you're socially healthy. You've got great friends. You've got people who are in your life, people who are helping you to do everything the Bible teaches. And there's people in your life that you're helping them to do everything the Bible teaches. You got friends that the world can never touch. That level of friendship. And we talk about being emotionally healthy, physically healthy, mentally healthy, spiritually healthy. You know, we follow the Bible, and it's funny, I take these psychology classes, I'm in the nursing program, right, we're looking at anatomy and physical health. It's like, these things that Jesus said, it's like he had all this stuff figured out 2,000 years before we did. You know, we look at the Bible and it's like, wow, you want to be healthy, it's like you read the scriptures, and it teaches you how to live a life that's healthy. But one of the other things we learn in our PE class is that simple information doesn't make people healthy. I mean, I go to college, right, and in college it's young people, they've got their whole life ahead of them, they're smart, they're educated, they're learning, and yet they smoke cigarettes, tobacco. It's like, how many commercials have we seen growing up about how bad smoking is for your health? And here you are, you're 20 years old, and you're smoking a cigarette to be cool? Because it feels good? Like what? Like what kind of sense does that make? Right. It doesn't. But simple information doesn't change people's lives. That's why Jesus, he connects with people at a heart level. Because until there's a heart level connection with someone, their life doesn't change simply on information. This is the mission that Jesus sends us on, to help and to heal people. You know, we read Isaiah 61, and he came to set the captives free, to bind up the brokenhearted. And we actually dig into it, it's like, this is awesome. This mission that Jesus has sent me on is worth everything that I have, and it meets all the things that I want in a major. You know, when I think about what I want to major in, I don't want to major in academics. I want to major in God. I want to major in God's mission. Psalm 23. So this first point was talking about purpose, talking about the mission. Next thing I want to talk about is peace. And we talk about being mentally, emotionally healthy. We got to have some peace in our life. We read Psalm 23. As a culture, we read Psalm 23 at football games, we read it at funerals, and people quote it in war movies. And that's pretty much where we find Psalm 23. But I've been on this almost the last month on Psalm 23, just marinating on it, meditating on it, and it's so much more than just for football games and funerals. The new NIV, verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. Let's stop there for a second. The Lord is my shepherd. You know, what does the shepherd do for the flock? The shepherd looks out for the flock. The shepherd figures out where the flock needs to go. Where is the green pasture? Where do they need to move to? He takes care of the sheep. He meets their needs. He provides for them. He's always looking out for them. If danger comes, he goes and takes care of the wolf. And Matthew and Luke, Jesus says, I am the good shepherd. And the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. You know, we talk about the Lord is my shepherd. I think about when I was in elementary school. I don't know if you guys can remember all the way back then, but you know, first, second grade, kindergarten, I would get in these arguments with these other kids about whose daddy was stronger. My daddy's stronger than your daddy. No, my daddy can beat up your daddy. I mean, that was the argument we'd have. We were little. And we'd brag about whose daddy was the biggest, whose daddy was the strongest, whose daddy was the man. We look at David, he says, the Lord is my shepherd. The Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the creator of heaven and of earth, looks after me. He takes care of me. He meets my needs. He provides for me. When danger comes, he takes care of it. The things that I'm worried about, my needs, he's my provider. I don't have to worry about it anymore because he takes care of me. But first, you have to let God be your shepherd.
That's right.
Before you ever connect with him.
That's right.
We look at David, and he was a man after God's own heart. And man, I want to pray like David. I want to think like David. I want to have a heart like David. Right? Because I was like, he's a man after my own heart. I want to be a man after God's own heart. And I look at Psalms where he says, the Lord is my shepherd. The rest of the psalm comes from that. From that fact alone. That the Lord is his shepherd. He says, I lack nothing. For me, I read this. It was a Tuesday. I'd spent all day on this. I was like, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. My life is awesome. This is great. And then I wake up Wednesday morning, and all of a sudden I remember something. You ever have those moments? You're locked in on God, and everything's great, and all of a sudden something pops up. It's like, shoot. All that awesome feeling, it just went away. For me, I'm in school right now, so most of my worries come from school. But where the rubber meets the road can be different for all of us. For me, it was a PE. If there's a class you need to make an A in, it's PE, right? And if there's a surefire way to not make an A in a college class, it's to take a 0 on a midterm. It was an online assignment, and I had completely forgotten to do it. I wake up Wednesday morning, I'm like, that was due at midnight last night. I just got a 0 in PE. I'm not going to make an A in PE. The Lord is my shepherd. I'm lacking an A in PE right now. I lack nothing thing. That just stopped for me. It's like, I'm lacking an A in PE. This is important. This is what I do with my whole life is I do schoolwork. I'm in college. What is it for you? What is it for you that you're Peter, you're on the water walking with Jesus doing something incredible. You feel on top of the world. And all of a sudden the wind and the waves, they come in and they snatch your eyes off of Jesus. And you're sinking. You're up the stream without the paddle. You don't know what to do. You're going to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're going to make it happen. That's what our culture teaches us, right? Is that I can do it. It's the American dream, right? If I work hard enough, good things will happen to me.
Yeah.
I can provide for myself. David says, no. The Lord is my shepherd. He will meet my needs. I need to take it to him. I need to be confident in that. There's so much peace that comes with that. When I don't have to worry about meeting my own needs, when I don't have to worry about fighting for everything because God's going to take care of it for me, it's like this weight just comes off my shoulders. It says, the Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. Do you believe that, church? Do you believe that you lack nothing? We keep reading through Psalm 23. It says, the Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. It's like the grass is always greener on the other side. It's always greener somewhere else. I always want to be somewhere else. It just looks so much nicer over there. It's like, no. The Lord made you lie down where you are. He put you where you are for a reason. Do you trust him? Do you trust that he's got a reason for where he put you? Or do you just want to fight with him? He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores, he refreshes my soul. He guides me along paths of righteousness for his name's sake. We can be legalistic. Well, if I work hard enough, I can follow the law. God makes me holy. I'm going to do everything I can to be holy because I want to be like God. But at the end of the day, it's not about how hard I worked to follow his commands. It's about his grace and his mercy. He guides me He says, even though I walk through the darkest valley, the last translation, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For he is with me, his rod and his staff, they comfort me. You know, I think about that. He says, I can walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. We look at the New Testament, we look at Paul, who writes a letter about joy while he's in jail. And it's a Roman jail, not one of our jails where you get like dental care and health care and food and all this. Like he's in a Roman jail. They like throw you in a cell and they might give you some bread like once a week or something. Like he's writing a letter about how joyful he is. You know, we look at the other New Testament Christians who went on to be martyred for their faith. They died for it. And they stood there. They didn't fight back. Because they weren't afraid. They weren't even afraid of death. What are you afraid of? What are things in your life that you're like, oh, I'm working really hard to say, I don't want that to happen? It's like, don't you trust God? Is the Lord not your shepherd? Is he only your shepherd until you get to something that's tough? And then you're going to take care of that on your own. He says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. These are instruments of discipline. And David finds comfort in them. I don't know about you. Sometimes I don't find comfort in discipline. You know, when growing up, when Daddy would discipline me, that would be a spanking. That was not fun. I wasn't feeling that. That wasn't, yeah, this is cool. Like, no. But over time, as I've grown, I've learned the Lord's discipline. It can come through corrections. It can come through rebukes. It can come through reading the Scripture, just being cut to the heart. Like, man, I was wrong. It can come from all of a sudden life getting hard. You know, when you're on a mission team, when there's just a couple other Christians around you, sometimes they rebuke you, but sometimes God just does things, just reveals stuff in your heart. You're like, oh, yeah, I don't want to deal with that right now. I don't like that. I don't like that part about me, but let's just sweep that under the rug. Let's not talk about that. He says, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Lord, your discipline comforts me. I've grown to begin to appreciate that. There's some brothers growing up. George Digsby, Rick Fuller, Dale Ivory, Dave Piker. Some of you guys may know them. They're in Raleigh. They're in Greensboro now. When I get with them, man, if I'm doing something wrong, I'm going to get rebuked about it. I'm just going to get laid out by these guys. I can remember this one instance growing up, and George Digsby just laid me out about something. I was an idiot. I was in 6th grade. I thought it was like the cool thing to like call people crackheads. And so I'm walking around and like pinging kids and call people crack. And I remember George Digsby, he worked in the jail system. He's like, no. You don't know what a crackhead is. I deal with them. You do not call people that. I remember I was like brought to tears. I was like terrified of George Digsby. He's got this, he's got a couple scars. He's just a scary dude. He was bigger than me. You look at Rick Fuller, he's got some scars. He's a big, scary dude. And these guys would bring me to tears when they would lay me out. I love them dearly now. When I'm around them now, I know that I can just be me. And if I step over the line, if I do something dumb, they're going to let me know. They're going to correct me. They're going to bring me back on point. The rod and the staff for a sheep, it's the sheep begins to wander from the flock. He begins to wander from the pasture that he should be in, and the Lord comes over, nudge, and you can go back this way. Somebody's got to hook you around the neck and carry you back. It's a good thing. It brings us back where we need to be. We should find comfort in that. Hebrews 12, he teaches us that the Lord disciplines those he considers to be his children. It means he loves you. Do you have people in your life who love you enough to lay you out when you're just wrong? Do you have people in your life that will tell you the truth even when it hurts? Proverbs teaches us that wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy will multiply kisses. Who do you welcome into your life? Who are the friends that you pull into your life? Are they the people that they just, oh, everything's great. Oh, you're so awesome. Hey, yo, what was up with that? Dude, what were you thinking, man? Are the words, hey, There's so much joy. You can just be yourself, and you don't have to worry about everything going on in your life. Because He's going to take care of it. You don't have to worry about making sure I don't put one toe out of line. If you do, He'll let you know. He'll help you out. He'll get you back on the straight and narrow. That's a good thing. So wrap up. Where are you this morning? Does the Lord's peace and the Lord's purpose for your life, do they shape your life? If you're inviting somebody to come along with you and come be a Christian with you, like, hey, I'm a Christian, it's awesome, you should come do this. Are they going to see peace in your life? Or are you just overcome with worries and anxieties? You're just totally stressed out about everything. You have no joy because it's been robbed by the world. All the things that you're worried about, you're not happy. You're worried about a dozen things. Are you about God's mission? About His purpose for your life? It wasn't an optional thing for the Christians. He says, go and make disciples of all nations, baptize them, and teach them to obey everything I have commanded you. He says, you need to go to everyone and teach them to do this. This isn't an optional part of Christianity. If you actually believe that